You're listening to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, created to help you succeed in your IT Fundamentals certification journey. Learn more at baremetalcyber.com, where additional prepcasts, books, and training materials await. Let's get started. In this episode, we introduce the concept of a database and explain how it is used to store, retrieve, and present data. Databases are at the heart of nearly every modern system, from websites and business applications to mobile apps and support systems. You will learn key terms such as input, query, and report terms that appear in Domain 5 of the Information Technology Fundamentals Plus exam. The focus is on conceptual understanding, not technical implementation, and recognizing how data flows through a database. The Information Technology Fundamentals Plus exam includes questions that deal with database components and functions. These questions may ask you to match a description to the correct term, or to identify the role of an input, a query, or a report in a given scenario. You are not expected to design or manage a database or write queries in a specific language. Instead, you need to understand how databases work at a high level and how their components support the collection and use of information. A database is a structured collection of data that is stored electronically and organized for efficient access. Unlike a simple file, a database uses a formal structure that makes it easy to locate, sort, and analyze information. This structure is designed to support fast queries, accurate updates, and reliable storage. Databases can reside on local servers, personal computers, or cloud platforms. Regardless of where they live, their goal is to store large amounts of information in a logical and accessible way. Databases are used in a wide variety of business and technical environments. They store customer records for online retailers, manage employee details for HR departments, and track inventory levels for supply chains. They also support websites, applications, and internal company systems. Whether you are booking a flight, checking a bank balance, or viewing your medical history, a database is working behind the scenes. These systems allow users to access accurate information at the right time. In the context of a database, input refers to the act of adding or entering data into the system. This can be done by typing information into a form, scanning a barcode, or uploading a file. Inputs are often automated, but they can also be manual. Inputs include numbers, text, and even files that contain data. Without accurate input, a database cannot function properly. Input is the first step in the data lifecycle, as it feeds the system with raw facts that can later be searched or analyzed. Some common examples of database inputs include form submissions from a company website, barcode scans at a retail store, and uploaded documents such as resumes or contracts. Each of these creates a new entry in the database. Along with the main data, inputs often include metadata additional information such as the date or source of entry. These inputs are stored as records and organized into tables that can be retrieved or updated through queries. A query is a request to retrieve, modify, or delete information stored in the database. It is the way users or applications ask the system to find specific data. Queries can be created using structured query languages like SQL, which stands for Structured Query Language. For example, a query can ask for all customers in a certain zip code or for all orders placed within the last 30 days. The query processes that request and returns the matching records. The most common types of queries include select, insert, update, and delete. A select query retrieves existing data. An insert query adds new records. An update query changes existing data. And a delete query removes records from the database. These commands help manage the full range of data actions inside a system. On the exam, you do not need to know the exact syntax of these queries, but you should be able to identify what each one is generally used for. A report is the formatted output generated from a query. Reports organize and present the data in a way that is easy to read and understand. They may include charts, tables, or summaries and can be printed, displayed on a screen, or exported into a document. Reports are commonly used in business settings to monitor performance, share findings, or review activity. A report is typically based on data retrieved by a query and customized to highlight specific information. Some common examples of reports include monthly sales summaries, which show revenue trends, customer order histories, which detail what each person has purchased, and warehouse inventory reports, which help track stock levels. Each report provides a snapshot of activity or status based on real-time or historical data. The purpose is to convert raw records into a form that supports decision-making and communication. Although queries and reports are related, they serve different purposes. A query pulls the data from the database, often in a raw or unformatted state. A report takes the data returned by a query and formats it for viewing, printing, or sharing. While a user may not see the query working in the background, they do see the report that presents the results. Both are essential tools in any system that relies on stored data for business insight or operational decisions. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are other prepcasts on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Databases are often accessed using tools and interfaces that make them easier to work with. These may include applications, dashboards, and form-based entry systems. In many cases, users interact with a front-end interface that hides the underlying structure of the database. For example, a retail worker may enter order details into a web form, which sends that input to the database in the background. Queries may be written directly by advanced users or generated automatically by software tools when buttons are clicked or filters are applied. Data stored in a database is typically organized into a structured format. The most common structure is a table, which consists of rows and columns. Each row represents a unique record, and each column, also called a field, holds a specific type of data, such as a customer name or a purchase amount. Because the format is consistent and predictable, structured data in a database is easy to search, sort, and analyze. This organization is a key feature that separates databases from simpler data storage systems. The benefits of using a database go far beyond just storage. Databases allow for fast access to large volumes of information and enable users to retrieve exactly what they need through queries. They also help keep information well organized, reducing errors caused by misplaced or inconsistent data. Many databases support role-based access, meaning that only authorized users can view or modify certain records. This enhances security, while allowing collaboration across departments or teams. A key concept in database management is data integrity. This refers to the accuracy, consistency, and reliability of the data over time. Databases use a variety of techniques to maintain integrity. Input validation checks data before it is stored to ensure it meets expected formats. Duplicate detection prevents the same record from being entered more than once. Ensuring integrity is important because decisions based on incorrect or incomplete data can lead to serious problems in business operations. Databases are different from flat files in several important ways. A flat file is a simple text or spreadsheet file without structured relationships. It might contain a list of names or transactions, but lacks the complex relationships and search functions of a database. Databases, by contrast, allow multiple tables to relate to one another. They can support many users at once and include features like query optimization, indexing, and permissions. While this episode focuses on databases, flat files will be covered more fully in the next episode. When preparing for the Information Technology Fundamentals Plus exam, you may be asked to recognize the components of a database by name or by function. For instance, you may need to match the term query to its definition as a data retrieval request, or to identify input as the process of adding new information. Scenario-based questions might describe a user submitting a form or viewing a report, and you will need to identify which database function is being used. Understanding each component's role is key to answering correctly. There are specific terms you should memorize for the exam. These include input, which refers to entering data into the system, and query, which means requesting data. Report refers to the formatted presentation of data. You should also know the terms table and field, which describe how data is organized. Other useful terms are retrieve, format, entry, and record. These terms form the vocabulary of basic database operations and will appear in multiple-choice questions on the test. It's important to know what the exam will not ask you to do. You will not be required to write structured query language commands or build a database from scratch. You won't be expected to create table relationships or define indexes. The exam does not cover advanced database design or administrative tasks. Instead, it focuses on terminology, conceptual roles, and understanding the functions that are commonly used when interacting with data systems. Understanding how databases work is essential for nearly every IT role. Whether you are supporting end users, managing systems, analyzing trends, or developing new tools, you will encounter databases. Knowing the difference between an input and a report, or between a query and a field, helps you participate in technical discussions and perform common support tasks. For this reason, databases are included in the Information Technology Fundamentals Plus exam as a foundational literacy topic. To summarize, a database is a structured system for storing, retrieving, and presenting data. Inputs add data into the system. Queries retrieve or change that data. Reports format and display the results in meaningful ways. The Information Technology Fundamentals Plus exam focuses on recognizing these terms and understanding their roles. By learning how data moves through a database and how each part functions, you prepare yourself to succeed in Domain 5 and to work effectively with data in real-world environments. Thanks for tuning in to the Bare Metal Cyber Prepcast, your trusted source for cybersecurity news and insights. Remember to subscribe at baremetalcyber.com so you never miss an update. And visit cyberauthor.me for best-selling cybersecurity books that equip you with expert knowledge. Until next time, stay secure and stay vigilant.